Karina. I'm a student at John Abbott College, and I'm really grateful to be back here again for Let's Talk. It's been quite a year, and I think we've all endured some changes that are beyond the normal. So maybe you're wondering if there's any hope for 2022. That would be pretty understandable. I do have hope for it though, and I hope it's strong enough to share and to take hold in you. First of all, we're back here together, which I think is a pretty good place to start. But what I think will inspire even more hope is a bit of a rewind to 2021. I truly lived my message from last year's video. The message that with time, effort, and reaching out for help, things really can get better. So let's look at last year. My mental health struggles didn't just disappear. That would be nice, but not so realistic. No, my year was a pretty mixed bag, which I suppose you could just call life. But there's a pretty big difference between normal struggle and abnormal struggle. And that's a really important thing to realize. I'll bet that right now, some of you watching this are going through the dilemma of thinking, is what I feel normal and I'm just weaker than everyone else and can't handle it? Or am I actually going through something and deserve help? How do I know this? Because I've had those thoughts way more times than I care to remember. So let me save you some time and tell you something I wish I had been told way sooner. You do deserve help. Not in 2 months when you've hit rock bottom, not when something allegedly serious enough happens to make you deserve the help. No, you deserve it right now where you are. You deserve it yesterday. That said, let's rewind. There was a lot of good in 2021 for me. I completed 4 classes at Abbott. I started working at a pet store, which I really enjoy. I love my boss, I love my coworkers, and I especially love our 4-legged customers. I also published my second book, a self-help workbook called Let's Recover Together, which, thanks to some very kind and supportive people, is available at the bookstore if ever you're interested. And also, maybe you remember my little precious Miracle Mia. She became my emotional support animal this year. And I'm also happy to say that we're in the process of getting certified to visit care facilities like hospitals. I can't wait to share her love and joy with the world. So to summarize the year, I guess basically I just kept myself busy, and that's pretty much my main coping mechanism actually. I don't stop, otherwise things can get pretty bad in my head. And with all of the COVID restrictions, I had to get extra creative. But the thing is, running away from my problems and never learning how to stay still with myself, it caught up to me. It really took its toll. I was in therapy and I was still taking my meds, but things kept getting worse. The world was just too loud. I was overwhelmed. I was in desperate need of a pause button. I was going back to self-harming really frequently and just generally losing control. The reason this is a message of hope for you is because of the happy ending. I wasn't alone. When therapy wasn't enough, my therapist connected me with the West Island Crisis Center for more frequent meetings. When that too wasn't enough, my crisis worker gave me a bed at the center. I could have kept going. I could have pushed myself through work, thinking that that was the brave choice. Now I realize that the brave choice was actually stopping, admitting that I couldn't do it anymore. For the first time in 6 years, I finally reached out for help. I took action instead of waiting for my thoughts to build up and for something bad to happen and for me to end up in the hospital involuntarily. There is so much power when you take charge of your mental health and recovery, which is why what I'm saying is to reach out there, to not lie down and take these emotions in isolation. Please, there are so many people, both on the professional side and the patient side, who will do absolutely everything they can to help you if you are willing to start helping yourself. The people I met at the crisis center truly understood. I even made friends there, and it felt amazing to bond over things that a lot of people are afraid to talk about. I am so grateful that I went, because if I hadn't, I would have never gotten my new diagnosis, and I would have never discovered a medication that is proving to make an enormous difference. There is absolutely everything to gain and nothing to lose from reaching out. I know it's difficult, but that first step of opening up is worth everything. So I understand lying in bed wondering why life is so hard. It can be, I won't lie. But it also gets better. You might not even see it coming, but gradually those rare good days will come around a lot more often. And one day, instead of waking up and wondering how you're gonna get through the day, you're gonna wake up with the question of what you're going to do with that day. So please, don't give up on 2022. More than that, don't give up on yourself. If you're struggling, speak up, reach out for help. If you see someone struggling, ask questions. We're in this together, and we can only make it if we do it together. Let's talk and let's listen meaningfully. That brings me to the last thing I'd like to leave you with today, a call to action. Last year, I started an initiative for September 10th, World Suicide Prevention Day. Over the past year, I've been taking the names, initials, and nicknames of people who have survived suicidal thoughts or a suicide attempt. It's a message of hope that I want to send out as far and wide as possible to show people that we can make it and that we are not alone. So I invite you, if you're interested and if you have ever felt this way, to send me a message on Instagram or on my blog at I Will Not Be My Mental Illness to add your name to this meaningful project. Thank you so much for watching. I send you hope, strength, and courage for this semester and beyond. Remember, we are not alone and we can survive.